Well, today, former acting Attorney General Sally Yates testified in front of, Lindsey Graham's Senate Judiciary Committee, just like Rod Rosenstein. Took a while, but then she finally had to admit, knowing what she knows now, she never would have signed the phony, fraudulent Carter Page FISA application based on Russian disinformation that was really used to spy on candidate Trump and deep into the presidency of Donald Trump. Take a look how long it took to actually get her to tell the simple truth.
Knowing then what you know now, would you sign that application?
Senator, I would never sign any document.
So I
in any
take that to be no,
sense.
because that document was a fraud. Is that a fair statement? If you knew then what you know now, you wouldn't have signed it?
I wouldn't sign anything that I knew to contain errors or omissions.
Or did that contain errors and omissions?
Yeah, and I would never knowingly sign a document. I didn't do that in the 27 years I was.
I believe you didn't know. I believe you didn't know that what you signed was wrong. The question is, if you had known, you wouldn't have signed it. Is that correct?
No, if I had known that it contained incorrect information, I certainly wouldn't have signed it.
We'll also learn more today about just how there was a big breakdown in terms of the Carter Page FISA process, how bad it was. It was unverified, uncorroborated, untrue. And by the way, everybody was warned as early as August 2016. Sally Yates admitting that the Steele dossier Clinton paid for with Russian disinformation was, in fact, critically important to the Carter Page FISA application, as Andrew McCabe had said himself. And Yates revealed even more of Comey's bad behavior, about his efforts going rogue to set up a perjury trap for Michael Flynn. Take a look. That was the ambush.
When you heard about the interview, you got upset, didn't you?
I was upset that Director Comey didn't coordinate that with us and acted unilaterally. Yes, I was.
Okay. Did Comey go rogue?
You could use that term, yes.
Wow. Here with reaction, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. One thing I'll say, great questioning there, like Rod Rosenstein. But I'll tell you the difference between you and me. You said, I believe you didn't know. I'm not sure I believe that, Senator. I'm not sure at all.
I can't prove that she knew, so I'm just going to based on what I can prove. Here's what I can prove, that Jim Comey has become radioactive. People are running away from him like he's got the plague. Rosenstein said, no, I wouldn't have signed the warrant if I knew then what I know now. Sally Yates threw him under the bus, that he went rogue, that he set up General Flynn for, as you say, to manufacture a crime. So what's the takeaway here? That Comey sat on top of one of the most corrupt investigations, Crossfire Hurricane, in the history of the FBI, and the rats are jumping ship. Bad day for Jim Comey.
That I agree. And also, she puts in that January 5th Oval Office meeting, she puts the Logan Act, which nobody's ever been prosecuted for and been in existence in 1799. She puts those words in the mouth of Jim Comey.
So here's what I can tell you, that if Comey's writing a book, it should be called Rogue. The best way to describe his tenure as FBI director is he was rogue, that he ran every stop sign. There's no way in hell that he didn't know the dossier had been basically proved to be unsound by the Russian subsource interview in January. My goal is to prove that he did know, and he got warrants against Carter Page anyway. Here's the point, that Rosenstein and Yates are running away from Crossfire Hurricane. She threw Comey under the bus, so there will become a time to sell your book, Jim Comey. You can come to the Judiciary Committee and sell your next book, because you got a date with the truth, my friend.
Can't wait, and I'd like to know what John Durham's going to do. Here's what we also know. We know that Jim Comey was warned before the first FISA application by the State Department. We know he was warned by Bruce Orr in detail. Don't trust Steele. He has a political agenda. Hillary paid for it. It's unverified. Signed it anyway. After he signs it, then again, that was the bulk of information. Sally Yates and Andrew McCabe said, no dossier, you don't have a FISA warrant. But he told Donald Trump a couple of months later it was salacious and unverified. He lied in either case, somebody, because he's contradicting himself. Then we also know he signed another FISA warrant after his own FBI found out from the subsource, none of this is real, none of this is verified, and he signed it again. That is premeditated fraud on a FISA court, Senator, whether Jim Comey, Mr. Higher Honor, wants to admit it or not, I'd get indicted. Why hasn't he been?
Well, I don't know what Durham's going to do, but I know what the hell I'm going to do. I'm going to call the intel analyst and the case agent who interviewed the Russian subsource in January, March, and April and ask them, once you found out the dossier was a bunch of garbage, did you tell anybody about it? And I'll be shocked if they didn't tell McCabe and Comey. So we'll get to the bottom of it. Stay tuned.
Okay.
All I can tell you is that Jim Comey is about as radioactive as you can get. If you don't believe me, ask Sally Yates.
When are you calling Comey?
In September.
You want to make a bet?
What's the bet?
Call the Fifth Amendment. He'll invoke it.
Time will tell.
Thank you, Senator.